Hi, I'm Elizabeth,
And I'm Cindy.
and we're here with another Feeding Frenzy. This is the 40-Day Prosperity Plan in the Abundance Book by John Randolph Price, and we are day 23.
So this is statement number 3.
Okay.
I am conscious of the inner presence as my lavish abundance. I am conscious of the constant activity of this mind of infinite prosperity. Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the light of truth.
Good stuff.
What does that say to you today?
The one word that stands out more than any is as.
It's italicized here. I am conscious of the inner presence as my lavish abundance.
And the importance that I didn't used to put on that word, but I'm finding more importance with it now.
Why?
Because I'm seeing myself, my role in it more. So I think about my actions, my reactions as the workings of. And then I have to fill in that blank. Is it the working of ego? Or is it the working of my inner self? My Christ self? You know? So I'm looking more at myself than God outside of me. I'm looking at it more through me, as me.
Good.
So that's the word that stands out for me today. The rest of it, yes, and believe it, and I'm more moving that more into the knowing. But that one word, as, is really sticking out there for me today. What about you? What does it say for you today?
I am conscious of the inner presence, which is both capitalized, as my lavish abundance. So to me, inner presence is the God within, as my lavish abundance. And abundance to me is a big word anyway. I mean, it means more than I can imagine. Then you throw lavish on top of that.
Well, does abundance mean more to you today than it did before we started this?
Yeah, I think it has a deeper meaning. I think I feel it more here. Abundance is, it just doesn't end. I mean, when we think about treating money like air, you know, I don't think about the air I breathe. I've gone all day long today, and other than this stupid cough I can't seem to get rid of, I don't think about the air I breathe. You know,
You don't think about it until there's a hiccup in it.
Yeah, until I have to cough. But what I'm saying is that there's an abundance of air. I don't worry about running out. I don't ever think of the lack until I get desperate or until I cough, you know. But I want to be like that with money. I just don't want to think about it.
Well, my definition for abundance has become broader, too. I used to, when I thought about abundance, it was synonymous with money. And I didn't really entertain anything else as abundance, that particular word. It was synonymous with money only for me.
Oh, wow.
So my definition of that has become broader.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess mine has too, even though I don't know that I thought of it with just money, but not just that word, but this whole prosperity consciousness has become more than just money for me. Because when I first started this, I was looking for more money, you know.
Oh, sure.
In a spiritual way, but I was still looking for more money, and I still am, but I'm realizing that it's not the money I was ever really looking for, it's the things the money can buy.
Right.
And I don't need more money necessarily, and I want the stuff that I can buy with the money. And money for me represents the way we pay for things now that we want, but
The way we exchange the energy for it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I realize now that it never was about the money really. It was just about the stuff I want, and the stuff I want is to give me a feeling here. And when I turn inward, I can get that feeling here without getting any of the stuff I thought I wanted.
Or the stuff you thought you had the attachment to.
Right, right. So it's showing me, I think the one thing I'm really getting is that the one we did several days ago about fulfillment is that if I just turn inward, then I have that fulfilled already. I mean, I don't need the money because I don't need the things that I thought I had to have the money for. Because I have the feeling is what we're really after. You know, we want a new car because of the way it makes us feel.
We do, don't we?
If I can get that feeling without getting the new car, then I don't really need the new car.
Good point.
You know, so I'm really looking for the feelings those things bring rather than the money.
Good point.
So it's all about the feelings, I think. We want to be happy. And if we can be happy without the money, then so be it.
Well, I've noticed too that once I looked at my prosperity in a broader scale, in a broader scope, I opened up new avenues for it to come. New ways for it to come to me. So I see that too as increasing my, as Edwina said before, my bliss tolerance.
Yeah.
Opening up that definition for me opened up new ways and avenues for me to see the prosperity that was already there and acknowledge it. And once I acknowledged it, well, on the heels of that acknowledgement came more and comes more still. You know, I've noticed that as soon as and tithing is really, really important for me because it, in a matter of an exchange of energy, acknowledges God in that situation. I can say, with a tangible, acceptable form of energy in the way that we've chosen as a society in order to express it uniformly, through money, I can say, I can acknowledge God in the situation. So I see that tithing for me as I have to, I need to. I've got to acknowledge God working here. And as soon as I acknowledge God in that situation, new prosperity comes to me. Not necessarily in the same form.
Right, or from the same place.
Or from the same place. But I see it doubled and tripled and quadrupled sometimes in other ways that I might not have seen before. So that's cool and exciting too.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So I am conscious of the constant activity of this mind of infinite prosperity. Are you conscious of the constant activity of this mind, the capital M, of infinite prosperity?
When I focus on it. I can't honestly say that I'm constantly aware of that. I am when I focus on it, when you draw my attention back to it. But I don't think that's necessarily taking it for granted or moving it into the knowing.
I was just going to say, moving it into the subconscious so that I don't think about the air I breathe.
Right.
That doesn't mean I don't know it's there and I'm not appreciative of that and I just don't have an issue with it. So I don't think about it. And so I feel like I'm getting more to that place with money now and supply in general. So I just don't think about it. I know that the things that God has called us to do, we're going to somehow get the supplies we need to do it. Yes. If there's not a question of where the money's going to come from anymore.
What peace does that bring, knowing that there's not a question anymore that it will come? It's just a matter of when.
A lot of peace. For the first time in my life, I can honestly say I have a new peace about not worrying about money, which is incredible because all my life, everybody in my life has taught me that money's important.
Well, and I think it's important too that you let people know that you're not necessarily sitting on the top of the world here.
No,
I mean, you're coming from a place where we still have debt and we still have
and I don't worry
other
about
things that we have to pay attention to, but not worrying about it, even though that's there. It's such an incredible.
So, you know, I always thought that, okay, once I get this, then I'm going to have a lot of money. And I might someday, but I don't yet. But it's not the money that I've gained, it's the trust in God that has made the money not as important. Because now I trust God to take care of whatever comes up. And that may not be with money.
Right.
It doesn't matter how He does it, I just know that He will. And that is what gives me the peace. It's not that the money's rolling in and I've got more money than I know what to do with by any means. That'd be nice, but that's not my experience yet. Doesn't mean it won't be.
Right.
But right now it's just, I know God's got this. I don't know how God's got this. And for the first time in my life, that's okay. I don't have to know how.
Oh, that's a big statement for you.
That is a big statement.
I don't have to know how is a big statement for you.
It's a very big statement for me, but I truly feel that for the first time ever.
Really?
Is that, I don't know, a couple of days ago I guess it hit me. It's just, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. You know, that doesn't mean I don't make mistakes and don't get off track and I don't get an ego problem. But I know from experience, I can look back over the last year, over the last 10 years, and I can see where I'm right, where I'm supposed to be. And that God is moving things in and out of my life right when they need to be there. And there's never been a time when I haven't been taken care of and when I haven't been provided for. And especially when I was where I needed to be in alignment. I mean, I can look back and show you exactly when I wasn't in alignment too. You know, it's like we talked about earlier today. God doesn't move, we do. And when I'm in alignment, I can tell things go better and they go easier. It's when I mess up and when my ego and when I let other things come between us, that things don't fall into place.
That is good stuff.
So I do recognize the constant activity more. I don't focus on it, but it's like you said, we don't have to focus on it to know it's there. We don't focus on the electricity when we turn the switch on.
And to trust it too. I don't necessarily, and that's a good feeling, to know I don't have to see it working to trust it. Just knowing God's got this, and I don't have to worry about it. I can let go of the how because I know God's got this. And knowing that I can trust in that and not have to see it is cool too. That's a cool place to be.
Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the light of truth. You know what? I do, because I was just thinking, I used to be really afraid of people getting mad at me. And now I could care less. You know, I'm going to do what I feel like I'm supposed to do. And if people get mad about that, then so what? You know, who cares? I don't want anybody to get mad at me, and I'm not out to make anybody get mad at me. It's not something I look forward to.
Right.
But if I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing, then their anger is not going to bother me. You know, so yes, I feel by trusting God and doing what I'm feeling nudged to do and staying in alignment as much as I possibly can is helping me to have a more even keel, more calm and peace. And not worry about what others think or what others are doing or if they're mad or not. You know, and there's just a whole lot of peace in that for me. To just not have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, it is.
So that's, you know, this has really helped. Even the second, third time around, it's really helping. How about you?
Oh, definitely, definitely. You know, we keep going deeper with it. And I kept expecting, especially when we've been through this a couple of times, I'm thinking, what is it we're going to take? You know, what is it we're going to keep learning? But I find that the longer I go, the deeper I go. You know, and that's good.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to read this with love in it and quickly because I think we're running out of time here. I am conscious of the love as my lavish love. I am conscious of the constant activity of this love of infinite love. Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the love of love. Does it do anything?
It does a little because I can see love taking place, working. Do you know what I'm saying? I recognize that feeling. And I can recognize it when I see it in others. So that one brings it home a little quicker.
Good. So now let's put Lisbeth in there and see how it works. I am conscious of the Lisbeth as my lavish Lisbeth. I am conscious of the constant activity of this Lisbeth, of infinite Lisbeth. Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the Lisbeth of Lisbeth.
I still have blocks for that one.
Really?
Yeah, it's seeing myself as lavish is still, I'm still getting over that hurdle.
Really?
Yeah.
But I'm like you, I have trouble with the lavish Cindy. I still have trouble with that. But I'm getting there.
I'm getting there.
This is not as hard as it was the first time we did that.
No, it's not even as hard as it was the second time.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's really good stuff.
Really good.
Shree.
Shree.